that we're the opposite of each other
Yes.
because the reason why I remember that you're Vader ASMR and not ASMR Vader is because I'm ASMR Eliza.
Yeah, that's how I
So
remember that yours, because yours is the
yeah,
opposite of mine
yeah.
too.
So
Okay.
perfect. As long as we're always the opposite of each other, we'll be fine. This is going to be confusing for anyone who's
I
joining
know, we're
now.
just like having this whole conversation as it
Yeah,
starts.
we're talking about how to remember what our names are. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm in on my phone.
Okay. We have people filtering in. As you guys join, let us know if we need to adjust our volume because we can do that.
Yeah, I don't have my blue Yeti today, I'm afraid. So sorry for the sorry for the audio quality. Got
But I can hear
my
you very well, so that's good.
perfect. I've got skull candy headphones.
I love it.
So
My Bose ones, I think,
hi
are 8
Sam.
years old now, going strong.
Yeah, comfy headphones are a must.
Yes.
Hi Sam R.
Hello, Sam. All right, let me get into the, I'm going to try to get in so that I can actually block people if necessary.
Yeah.
That usually happens at least once. So I'll have to get into the control room
Good
here.
evening from the UK. Good evening back also from the UK. It's strange because I guess our clocks have gone back, but yours haven't, Veda.
Oh my gosh, have we not yet? I think we did fall back.
Because I
That
think
ch-
that usually we call it 9 o'clock for me, and it's 8 o'clock today.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We don't until November 5th. So
Oh,
this
there you
weekend.
go. Yeah,
Ooh, that's an extra hour. I like that. I
yeah.
don't like when we lose an hour.
Hi from Scotland, Robert. We're both well. I'm also in Scotland. Hi, Jared.
Okay, let me get into the control room.
Yeah, getting some
I'm
good
in.
headphones
All
that
right.
last a while is a good feeling. Are you in?
I'm in. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to get into the control room so that I can have all of
The
my
con
functions
the
available if I
control
need to block
room.
someone. Yes.
That sounds
That's
so
what it's called.
fancy. Yeah. Everyone
Um,
let us know about our sound levels, if I'm too quiet, if Beta's too loud, or vice versa.
we can
Um,
adjust
yeah,
easily.
we can get it good for everyone.
And we're actually like right on time this month, pretty much. This is
We
like a first.
we are right on time, as in like at 8 o'clock, as in like the right time, and also right on time, like the right day.
Right?
Um,
Oh my goodness. This is
like the day
crazy.
that we planned, the day that we planned a month ago is actually the day and the time that we're doing it.
That's
I'm
a
proud of
big
us.
deal. Yeah, me too. We did good. And we both read the book.
And we
Like,
both read the book. I did finish it today, but I finished it at
that
like
counts.
yeah, and I finished it like early. I finished it at like midday, not like
That's
10 minutes
super
ago.
early for you.
I
Hmm.
know.
I finished it on Wednesday, so that was a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Uh, I'm in Edinburgh, Robert. Sound is good. You got Jared's got a new job, so they're usually working Fridays. I'm
Oh,
glad that you're off and
Jared.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes, I'm glad you could make it. I'm very glad to see so many people joining. Thank you guys. So, who
Hi,
actually read the
Jake.
book? Did we have people in the chat that got to read the book? I'm curious
Shall
if
we do a
anybody got to
poll?
read it. Yeah, let me do a poll if I can speak. Start a
Poll.
poll.
I read the book. And I don't know if it's the first, could it be the first memoir or autobiography I've ever read?
It definitely I think is the first one that I read, unless we're gonna was the one that we read that was really similar.
On
Was
Earth
that
We're
on
Briefly Gorgeous. Well, it wasn't advertised as such,
but I feel like it was.
but it basically was.
It was like the same book,
Yeah,
essentially.
it was. It was the same book, but better.
Yes, I agree. I think it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
definitely.
didn't finish the other one, so
I did not. And I finished
yeah.
this one. So this is a big win
That's
for
always
me.
a good sign.
Yeah.
Reading a book is always a good sign.
And we have people that are here that have read it. So that's excellent. If you haven't read it, guys, there are spoilers. So this book, it's not like I don't think it's so much spoiler because it's not a narrative. It's
Yeah. I think that even if you knew everything that was going to happen in the book, it wouldn't take anything away from the book. It's still
yeah,
worth reading.
agree. I think that the writing is really what's enticing in this book, not so
Yeah.
much a plot.
Yeah,
Also, I'm
because
sorry
it's
for
a
my camera
memoir,
angle.
so oh, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, but I didn't men notice it, but now that you mention it, you look shorter than usual.
I
Just
know.
because
Let me see.
just because I've got less of your body.
I might be able to angle it down. I am short though.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Boop. Uh, yeah, there we can see a little more of me.
Great.
It's just okay. We'll just do that, I guess.
That's good. That works.
Um, yeah. So we do have some people that read the book. Excellent. This one's kind of tough because there are not book club questions online for this book that I could
Oh,
find in my brief
my
Googles, but I put together some. Go ahead.
oh, well done. I was gonna say my Kindle is upstairs, and at the back of my Kindle version, then it did have some book club questions.
Interesting. Okay,
I
so
know,
I did the
but I don't have
audiobook.
it.
That's
Okay.
okay. I have some. I did the audiobook, and I actually thought it was really good because the author is reading it himself.
Oh wow,
So
that's
yeah,
cool.
getting to hear like his voice and like how it's meant to be
Mm-hmm.
said was I liked that. Um, so I won't jump right into ratings. I know we saved that toward the end, but I think we both
Yeah,
sort of liked it at least more than how the other
yeah,
one that I can't
yeah,
ever on Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
yeah.
Um,
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Same, like I kind of went into it like not wanting to even read it because memoir autobiography
Yeah,
is not my style,
yeah,
but his writing is really good. I like his writing style. And it was kind
definitely.
of short, so that's good too. Like he didn't drag it out.
Yeah, it felt pretty fast paced.
Mhm. It did.
Um, because I mean, not it's like it's his life, so it's not like a massive plot. Like it's not like a super exciting plot. It's his
Right.
life.
Hmm.
But the pace, I thought it was really well paced. I was
Agreed.
very engaged.
And I think too that he did a good job focusing on like milestone events sort of for him
Yeah,
rather than just like mundanity. So that helped a lot that he really was
yeah.
able to focus on like the big things that shaped him. Um, so my first question is like a hard hitting one.
Ooh,
What scene in this book or what part of this book did you find the most upsetting? Because I feel like there were some that were kind of upsetting, and I wonder which one
yeah,
kind of hit you the most.
yeah. The
And same for those in the chat if you want to answer. I
yeah,
would love to hear your opinion.
the first time that he goes to see the botanist, like
Oh,
that is that's really upsetting. Oh well, also I'm forgetting like the most upsetting bit. But actually, anyway, okay, I'll talk about this bit first.
okay.
The botanist bit was really upsetting, and then finding out that he keeps going back.
That was like, that hit me because he
That
was
was
so intent on, we're done, like, lose my number.
yeah, yeah.
And then he
I
kept
think that
going back.
the author does a really good job of kind of showing his self-loathing and like his guilt and his shame
I
through the
agree.
actions by, talking about his actions and not like talking about it so much. He
Hmm.
does a really good job of that.
Yeah, I think for something that had such sort of graphic, something that had sex scenes like that, they weren't as viscerally graphic.
Yeah,
Even like the gross-ish parts, like
yeah.
you got his feeling about it without being overwhelmed by details, I guess, that you might not want to
Yeah.
hear.
None of it was like shocking for shocking's sake.
Agreed. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that that was like when I was reading that, I was like, oh God, like this is rough, that scene.
Yeah.
But I think probably the other scene that you were going to talk about was the church one with his grandmother, or maybe not. Maybe,
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one.
yeah,
Oh my
because
God,
that one
that was
bothered me the
really
most. That was
upsetting.
the worst
Yeah.
part to me. And I was like so angry for him. For
Yeah.
those of you that didn't read it, I'll just summarize briefly. There's a part in the book where he stays with his grandmother over the summer when he's a kid. And one summer he goes to her and she's kind of different. She started going to an evangelical church, and he's also kind of starting to be a little bit more out in terms of his sexuality. He's still not anywhere close to coming out, but it's becoming more obvious that he's gay. Um, and she brings him to church and brings him to the front of the church and has the pastor pray over him and basically wish harm on his mother for her Buddhism and the fact that she's like not raising him correctly. And it was very like angering to me.
Yeah. And the pastor says, like, God, please bring every curse and illness and calamity
Yes.
that you can upon this woman until she like finds her faith again.
Yeah.
It was
And
horrible.
it was. And the fact that his mother already has a heart condition, is working her ass off, like trying to
Yeah.
raise him as a single mom. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very powerful. And then like the scenes at the end with him and his grandmother where he's showing his grandmother tenderness and him and his grandmother have a
Right.
they don't have a close relationship, but I was thinking like I would be so petty and I would be so this is gonna be a big spoiler alert. Well, his mum is very ill at the end of the book, and I wanted him to be like, this is your fault and you're killing
Right.
your daughter. Like you killed her, 10 years ago when you got that guy to put a curse on her.
Right. And it's like, don't you feel bad now that this has
Yeah.
happened to her? Don't you feel
Yeah.
guilty? Like,
Yeah. Is this what you wanted to happen? Are you happy now?
give
Like,
me 1 second. Hang on. Neo. Shh, 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 shh.
oh, is it little kitty,
You're
a little
okay.
doggy?
This is Neo. He's my tenant's dog, and he hangs out with me
Oh,
all the time, and he's very sweet,
hi,
but he's
Neo.
like licking his paws right now and panting. So I'm like, shh.
Oh, I can't hear it. I don't
Good.
know if
Okay.
anyone else can hear it, but
Yeah. I mean, it's not really ASMR style, so we're okay, but it's just like, chill, chill, buddy.
yeah,
He's a good boy.
calm down.
He's very sweet.
Oh, bless him. Oh, bless his heart. Yeah, well,
Um,
the other scene that I was going to talk about was when he goes back to Dane's apartment after the party on New Year's Eve and
oh my
gets
gosh.
beaten within an inch of his life.
Yeah, that was wild. And just the compassion too that he was able to show Dane. Like
Yeah,
he kind of like tried to help him out afterwards and like lay him down
yeah,
and get it. He didn't even get him water and try to help him drink water or something. I
I
can't
know.
quite remember, but
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tried to feed him water, and this guy Dane has just exhausted himself from beating him up or trying to beat him up. Yeah, that whole scene and like what is going through Dane's head. It was at that point where I was like, I wish this was fiction and then we would get like a chapter from Dane's point
right?
of view.
Oh my God. It's just,
Because
yeah, I feel like he's just self-hating at that point, you know? I
yeah,
think,
yeah, a lot of like ingrained homophobia
mhm,
and taking it out on this other man.
yeah.
Yeah, we saw a lot of kind of self-loathing about homosexuality,
Yeah.
which was
I mean,
very sad.
especially from Saeed himself, like, but
Yeah.
he didn't take it out on other people in any way,
Yeah.
or that
No.
it's just he
Yeah.
really he hated himself. And I think a big part of his like continued relationship with the botanist was
Yeah. That's
that
exactly what it
self-hate.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a way to make his self-hate like real and like
Hmm.
let it out in a way.
Yep.
And he's like becoming the really like like embodying the monster that he thinks he is. Yeah.
Right. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And then there were also like other characters like the older men who are like who
Oh my
invites him to the
gosh.
bathroom, but then when he tries to kiss him, he's like, "Oh, I'm not like that," you know.
Right? It was funny to me because I feel like a lot of like queer stories, especially from men's point of view involve older men, like
Yeah.
sleeping with these young men. And I wonder how like common that is to
Yeah.
their experience because it just seems like a lot of gay men have been like predated upon by older
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I see a lot of that as well. I wonder if some of that is because like um like a lot of young queer people might be the only queer person in might be the only out queer person in their school.
yeah. Yep.
And so they can't have like when, 13-year-olds are having experiences with each other,
Hmm.
then they have to look like to older men.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they can't have that age appropriate experience. So to have an experience, they end up becoming preyed
Yeah.
upon by. And I mean, I don't know if they would consider it that way or feel that way about it. So I don't want to like be like he was preyed on by older men because he might not feel
Yeah.
that way. But I think,
Yeah, and like I think in the book, Saeed, I don't even know how old he was because I lost track of the like dates and stuff. But when he is like in the library and he goes with that man, like obviously there's a clear power imbalance, there's an age imbalance, but also he he does have agency himself.
yes, yeah, like he chose to go to the bathroom. The fact that he's so young, he put shouldn't have been able to make that choice, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like he was forced in that way. Um,
No.
and with the conversations online that his mother found, it seemed like
Yeah.
he was also like he was pretty
Looking for
smart there, I think.
answers.
And
Yeah.
yeah, looking for answers. And he did nothing wrong. Whether it was appropriate for the men to talk to him at his age, I don't
Yeah.
think so. But
No. That's the
luckily, he
thing.
didn't
Yeah.
meet up with anybody or anything.
Did you read Young Mungo? Did I talk to you about it?
No, but you told me about it. I haven't
Yeah,
gotten to read it yet.
because I thought it's interesting how um similar like the experiences. Young Mungo is, I don't know, it's like based on his own experiences as a young queer man in
Hmm.
Glasgow, and just like the experiences of different people in different times and different places being so similar, kind of struck me. There are some similarities there. Like specifically, he's like going online to use these chat rooms where like younger gay men ask older gay men like questions and stuff like that.
Mm, yeah, so it's interesting. I wonder how much of that is a shared experience,
Yeah.
like with young gay men.
Yeah, that was another interesting thing for me, and I'm sure for you, reading a book from someone's perspective that I don't share at all.
At all.
I'm not black, I'm not man.
No. And so much of his experience was tied to his like blackness, his gayness. Like it was
Yeah,
very wrapped up in that. And
yeah,
just like how he was treated and what he went through is not something that I would have ever experienced. So, and also
yeah.
the religious element too, because
Definitely that
some
too.
of it seems so backwards. You would think it happened long ago, but it was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm about his age. He's
yeah,
not. So it's
yeah,
just wild, like that this is happening in what could have been my childhood, like
yeah,
at this evangelical church.
yeah.
Um,
What
oh,
did other
Robert,
people, what
goodbye.
other scenes?
If you've already
Oh, bye,
gone.
Robert. What, sorry, I haven't kept an eye on the chat. What other
Uh,
scenes did people find moving or surprising or upsetting? Um,
I have not read Persepolis, I think is how you would say
Persepolis. I
Persepolis.
also haven't read Persepolis. Um, no, I did enjoy GCSE English, shockingly. All right. Yeah.
We'll
I
see if
had another
anybody.
question, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Something else.
I have another one,
Oh
and
yeah, come at me.
if anybody comes back with other stuff in the chat, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Saeed's mother? I'm wondering
Yeah. She's
because she
kind
was
of
interesting to me.
yeah, okay. I want to hear your thoughts first. Because actually I think I
So
don't have that many thoughts about her.
I thought it was kind of strange to me that she is a Buddhist with gay good friends. Like she has that picture of her
Yeah,
friend that died,
yeah.
killed himself because he had AIDS.
And she has
But
lesbian friends who took him
yeah,
to the drag show.
exactly. But yet it didn't seem like she ever really had a good conversation with Saeed about his sexuality, even when he had all these questions and kind of wanted to talk to her. It was just paradoxical to me almost that she's this
Yeah,
open person, but she's unable to have these
yeah.
conversations with her son. So I thought it
Yeah,
was kind of strange.
I was disappointed by that because
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the case of, that she's like, Mom, he's like, I'm gay. And she's like, obviously, I've
Right.
always known that. I've always loved you, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was going to be such a happy mother-son acceptance thing. And then it just kind of wasn't exactly that.
No, and I think he was kind of
And
shocked too because he expected it to be this whole big
yeah,
thing, and her only response was, "Well, have you had an experience?" And I
yeah,
don't
which sounded
obviously,
to me
yeah.
like testing him, like,
Are you
oh,
really? Are you
are you just
sure?
experimenting? Are you really gay? Yeah,
And maybe she didn't mean it that way at all because I think it was just strange. Like I said, that she's so open and appears to be so open
yeah,
and has all these gay friends, but reacts that way to her son
yeah,
coming out to her.
yeah. I wonder if it's like I thought that it was probably out of fear for him because she
I think
knows
so.
how like hard it can be to be a gay black man in the South and how much yeah, discrimination that he would face for it. But I wanted that to be said. I wanted that to be made clear.
Let
Because
me,
when she finds like him being in the chat rooms,
sorry, I had to block somebody in the chat.
when she finds him being in the chat rooms, then
Oh, sorry, Eliza, I think you froze for me. We'll hope she comes back very soon. Oh, there you are. There she is.
sorry.
No, no worries.
Yeah, is it people? Oh, it says my internet connection is unstable. God damn it.
But it's been good the whole time. Hopefully it'll be
Yeah,
okay.
touch wood. Yeah, are people getting leery about my hair? People are getting so passionate about it.
Are you kidding me? I hate that.
I
It's so weird. Yeah, I feel like it's always
know.
men too. Like
Of
if you cut your
course.
hair, it's always like, why would you do that? I don't know, because
Like,
it's
it doesn't
hair.
affect you at all. It's literally
No.
like a few inches of my
Hmm.
hair. It will grow in a
Yeah.
few months. It does not matter. Calm
No,
down.
it's weird and it's always men. Always. No woman would ever. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because maybe you've gotten comments from women too, but I just had never got comments from women when I cut my hair.
No, no. Only good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
But
Weird,
yeah,
weird.
I know.
Um,
Um, what were we saying?
the chat room, you had
I just
started
said like
saying
the
about the
mom
chat
was
room.
probably like, oh yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that when she found out about the chat rooms and she was like, this is dangerous. And he didn't know if she meant like being gay in general
Hmm.
or like talking to older men. And it's really sad that they never had that conversation and really like spoke how they felt.
Right, because he like had that question afterwards and she just went to her room and closed the door. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
it was just so surprising to me the way his mother interacted with him or
yeah,
like didn't interact with him.
yeah. Tiptoeing around the important questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because he clearly like I think that he put his mom on a pedestal and then like through his childhood and he always talks about how beautiful she is. And
Yeah.
then this thing, it's like it was shocking for him that she wasn't so accepting and
Right.
forthcoming.
hmm it was surprising to all of us, Saeed.
Yeah, it was a surprise.
Um, so I think we got to talk about his grandmother a little bit. That was my other question. Like, how'd you feel about his grandmother? We got to talk about that.
Yeah, but I think we could talk about it more. Do you think that the grandmother at the end, like, do you think she repented? Do you think that she like changed her mind about Saeed? Do you think she accepted him?
I I think that she was okay to just kind of not think about it. I don't know if
Yeah,
she could ever really accept his sexuality, but I
yeah,
do feel like, and maybe this is just sort of wishful thinking, I do feel like she
yeah.
kind of felt bad about the church thing.
I think she must have,
She had to have because that's her
surely.
daughter, and she loved her
Yeah,
daughter. So,
yeah. Wishing doom on your daughter for practicing Buddhism instead of whatever Christianity they're practicing, like it's a bit far.
yeah. And I feel like she kind of had to know that and had to feel that despite her
Yeah,
reaction at the time in the church. Like,
right. Yeah, because I mean, maybe she doesn't expect the pastor to be so violent with his
right, just
wishes.
hateful. Oh my God, Christian
Yeah,
hate.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can pray, like, that is very different than praying for someone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
asking God to, like, bring illness and pain on them, that is
Right?
not,
Like,
that's not
he
what God's
literally said, I
for.
think, break her or something. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was really violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very shocking.
Oh, a kitten. Hello, kitten.
You've just got such a little
I have a zoo. There's so
collection
many of
of
them.
uh
Hey, darling, you want to say hi? She says, no, I want to
say
see the
hi.
dogs. She
Oh,
loves the dogs. You can kind of see her
oh
behind me.
really? I can see her.
Come here, darling. Come say hi.
Come
Come
say
here,
hi.
baby. This is Freya. I call her Bean. She's very
Hi,
small.
Freya being. Oh,
She's not even a kitten anymore. She's a big girl now. She's about a year old. So
oh, bless her. She is
very
teeny,
small and
teeny
very cute.
little.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
She's on the
Bean.
internet now. You're famous.
Yes, Bean. This is your video. This is your book club. Book club video
Oh,
for
and you want
Bean.
another doggy next to you.
Cooper. He and Bean
Oh,
are
Coops.
besties. Yeah, they
Oh,
love each other. I love you. Good girl.
oh, bless them.
Oh, oh,
Just to
making my
answer
nose itch.
Kwahiri's question properly, she says, or they say, if it's a good book for people who only read fiction, and I would say yeah. I think that
Yeah,
it didn't feel too, it didn't feel very nonfiction.
no, and I think too it helps that it's sort of lyrical writing,
Yeah,
and it's shorter. So if you are kind of just dipping your toes into memoir or nonfiction,
yeah,
it's probably a good place to start.
yeah, because a lot of autobiographies are so long.
I know when we were trying to find one, it was like they were all
Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds
like
of pages, like
yeah.
600 pages. And I'm like, absolutely not.
No, this one's it's short, and it's really beautifully written.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but it's not so like I don't know if the viewers read On Earth are Briefly Gorgeous. Um, but me and Veda didn't like that one because it was like too lyrical.
Yeah, it was sort of hard to follow almost with how the
Yeah,
writing and
it was the kind of book that made you feel dumb.
yeah.
Like you feel like you should be able to find like so much meaning in it. And then and I just hated it.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally
but
agree.
it's not like that. It's like the very good kind of lyrical
Yeah,
and yeah.
I agree. This one didn't make you feel dumb. I think it was pretty
No,
accessible, actually. It was just really
yeah,
good writing,
yeah.
but
Really good writing.
not pretentious.
No, it was very well balanced
Hmm.
because there were some like really beautiful like quotes, but not, yeah, it didn't make me feel dumb.
I think it was about 250 pages. Harry's asking how many pages it was. I know pages are not your strong suit, Eliza.
I'm like, I think it's about 1,000 pages long. I've got my head around pages a little bit more now. Um, yeah, it took me about 7 hours to read, which is about
Yeah.
200 pages or so.
Um, if
I
you
think I
listen
read
to it
fairly fast.
on if you listen to it on audio, I think it's 5.5 hours without speeding it up. I sped it up and it
Oh,
was like
oh, so it must
two
have
and a
been
half or
even,
three.
yeah. Oh, so it's
Um,
really short.
yeah, it was pretty short. I'm actually curious how we find our lives page count. 224 pages. So,
Also, have you seen that Spotify? I know you've already got Audible, but for anyone else who's interested, Spotify are doing audiobooks included with
oh,
premium now. I think you get 15 hours, like an allowance of 15 hours per month.
oh, that's an
Um,
interesting way to do it by hours.
yeah, yeah. So you have to choose a book that's like short enough
Right.
to fit into that. Otherwise, you have to pay more. But for
Yeah.
most books, then you can listen to a few books a month, I think, for free.
Hmm.
Or not for free, but included with your premium.
Quahari, I think there are parts of it that are definitely sad, but I don't think it made me feel overly sad. Um,
No, that's so when I read like the synopsis, then I thought that it was going to be really sad. Because the synopsis is like it's about a gay black man in the South and finding his identity and I thought that it was going to be I thought it was going to be very heavy and very sad. And
yeah,
there are definitely aspects, there are definitely parts, but there are also parts which are uplifting. And I don't think that the overall story is really even about like the racism and the homophobia that he faced. It's more about his
no,
relationship with his mum and his identity with himself.
I totally
So
agree. Yep. Um, oh, totally off topic, but speaking of Spotify, have you thought about putting your content on there? Because I've like
I
thought about it
have
and I just haven't.
with the new ad situation,
Yeah,
then I've been thinking about it and I don't know how to go about it.
same. I'd have to do some more research. Like I've gotten emails from like people that do it
Yeah,
for you and then they take a
same.
percentage. And I'm like, I really think I could just do it myself if I wanted to.
Surely. Yeah.
But then I never get around to it. So
I think that Miss Manganese does it herself. I don't know if you are like in touch with her. I'm in touch with her a
no,
little bit.
I've never spoken to her about it, but I know I think a few people that do it themselves that I might be able
Yeah.
to talk to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could research it
Maybe put
more
it,
too. I just haven't.
yeah. You could also just put it on your Insta story and like ask any ASM artists
Yeah,
and see who
that's
replies.
true. Hmm.
That might get some. For those
Yeah.
of you who don't know, also, did you watch GB's thing yet?
Yeah. So I didn't get to watch it because when I had looked, they hadn't made the recording available, but I looked at the PowerPoint. So there is
All
like
right.
tags we can use to try to
Okay.
eliminate and roll ads.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, YouTube has recently, like at the start of this month, they put in a new thing which means that creators can't turn off ads at the end of their videos. which obviously for ASMR is really annoying because
Hmm.
people want to fall asleep in the middle of the video and not be woken up by a really loud ad at the end of it. And GB had a um, meeting with YouTube and put together some information for other ASMR artists. GB is so slay.
I know that is so like that's really awesome. She's so
Yeah, she's
it's
such a hard worker.
it's really
Yeah,
nice to see somebody with that many subscribers like that actually cares so much about the community and is like
yeah,
willing to help other people. Like
yeah. And that
that's a big
and that
deal.
she shares this with like all of the creators in the community, like even really small creators. It's
Right?
really cool.
Like that was so sweet to me that she like made this. She even made like a Discord group and a call for any ASM artist that wanted the information. Like even people like that are so small like me compared to her is just crazy. So I thought it was just really
Yeah,
nice that she
yeah,
yeah, made that available to everyone. So we're
yeah,
working anyway on trying to keep from having those post-roll ads at the end of the videos because I don't want them on videos either. Like that would really
no.
mess with my ASMR
As a
experience.
viewer,
So
yeah,
yeah, just bear with us if
yeah,
it happens because it's kind of a
yeah,
testing phase right now.
yeah. So far for me, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And we're looking at other things like Spotify and other stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting more ad-free videos on my coffee page
Oh, that
or like
might
a
work.
Patreon.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like coffee because people can just donate like one time. Like you can just
Yeah.
donate £1 a year rather than like £1 a month.
I know subscription
Uh,
is tough for people like to commit to
yeah,
something like that. I feel bad, like, but some
because
people
even if
want
it
to,
is,
you know.
yeah, but even if it's only £1 a month, and if you want to do that for like your 10 favorite ASM artists, like it adds up.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyway, that's why I use coffee because you can just donate like one off. You don't have to do it every month and you can still get access to all of the exclusive content.
Oh, that's really
Um,
cool.
but I don't really post anything on there. But so I'm gonna start posting some ad-free videos on there
Yeah, because
that
even
people
if you
can
try
watch.
to do that on YouTube, they can still put you just don't get the money. They still put the
Exactly.
ads on the content, you just don't benefit from it at all. So it's like, what's the
Exactly.
point in
Yeah. Yeah, it's so frustrating.
hmm
YouTube are really YouTube are really making the user experience not ideal.
right? Yeah. So some
Um,
behind the scenes stuff for you
yeah.
guys. Sorry if that was like not anything you were
Yeah.
interested in hearing.
It's just a rant that me and Vader need to have.
Yeah. Um,
Um, L- Kwaheri, does this book come with a lot of trigger warnings? I'm not
yeah,
sure on like, yeah, on Goodreads. Then they usually have a list of trigger warnings.
I'm not
And
sure.
um, it's not very, it's not very graphic, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like there's some sex scenes, but they're not like super descriptive.
Yeah.
Um, they can be a little bit
Um,
shocking though.
yeah. And there isn't any sexual assault. Am I right in
No,
thinking that?
surprisingly, I don't.
No.
There isn't
Yeah.
really.
That's what that's what I had like prepared myself the worst
Same.
for.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's racial slurs, um,
Hmm.
quite like shocking racial slurs, and yeah, and acts of violence, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting to be.
Yeah, it's not
But
super detailed. Like it's sort of
yeah,
like it talks about it happening, but you don't get like play by play graphic details of it.
yeah,
So it's very readable.
yeah, yeah, I thought it was okay. Coffee, they don't take a cut. They don't take a cut, but I pay for premium. But actually, one of my viewers very kindly bought premium for me. Um,
Oh,
I know, and it was
that's really
anonymous, so I don't
sweet.
even know who it was.
Oh,
But then that you get paid from coffee, then you get paid through PayPal, and PayPal takes a cut. So yeah, like people do take a cut along the way, but
yeah.
it's manageable.
It's one of the
Okay.
less predatory of the
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I don't know how much I don't know how much YouTube is making on our
Oh,
videos compared to how much we're making, but I bet it's a it's a very good cut.
yeah. I think even on so I turned off the donations in live because they take such a huge cut from
Oh,
whenever
really?
people like give you money in lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like 40% or something crazy. I can't
It's
remember. It might not be
mad.
that high, but
Yeah,
it's high.
very high. And people don't necessarily realize when they're donating.
And that's what I felt bad because I'm like, people think that all of this is going to me, which is like so sweet, but then they take like so much
Yeah.
of it. It just seems
Yeah. Yeah. It is very predatory.
mhm. Um
The problems with YouTube. I could talk about my problems with YouTube all day, but I
yeah.
won't bore you.
Quahari says, what was your favorite part? That's like, to me, that's a tough question to answer because I don't know that I had one. It just, maybe you have one, but to me, it didn't feel like a book
Yeah,
where you have a favorite part. I don't know.
I do have a favorite part.
She does.
I do. My favorite part was when he goes to so it's kind of like a coming of age thing, like a lot of the story. And he goes to uni and in his first like few days or weeks, he's like trying on all of these different identities and
Mhm.
he feels like he's playing a part for every person that he speaks to. And then like eventually it clicks and he's kind of like, oh, I can be myself. And there are other gay men here who are being
Yeah.
themselves. And yeah. And then he kind of loses his way a little bit. But
Yeah.
for like that kind of realization for him that like, oh, I can just be gay.
Right. I
Uh,
like that too. That
yeah,
was pretty cool.
yeah. There was one, oh, I run okay, I wish I had my Kindle on me. Don't know why I didn't bring it. But there's like one bit in particular where um they're at a party and like a guy approaches him and they leave together and it says that the other people in the group like give them knowing smiles, knowing looks, the same kind of knowing looks that they give straight couples when they leave the room together.
Oh, I
And
don't
just
even
like that
remember
little
that. That's
bit,
yeah.
I highlighted it. I'll find it for you and I'll tell you the page number. Like that little bit made me like, oh,
Hmm. And
I
what an
love love.
experience for him too, who's never been able to like be out or have like a relationship and has only had
Yeah,
these little like pretty terrible experiences up to that
yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I was also nervous about because he wanted to go to New York where it's very like liberal and then he
Right?
ended up going to Kentucky or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Kentucky, I think.
And I was like, I don't know how that's gonna be.
Right.
Um, but then it's fine.
Yep. I'm actually really glad that that turned out good for him because he wanted to go
Yeah,
to New York University so badly. And it was
yeah,
like, it was just sad that he got in and they just couldn't afford it. But
yeah,
it ended up working out, I think.
yeah, yeah. I also like him. I like the end when he's like meets that old lady and like him and the old lady are just like going around Barcelona together being best friends.
I
That
know
was
that
very
was so
wholesome.
funny. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cute. And I think it was in terms of finding a way to wrap it up, it's funny. That was actually one of my questions for you. How did you feel about the ending? Did it feel complete?
Yeah.
And I feel
I've
like,
got thoughts about that.
yeah, I'd like to hear your
But
thoughts. Like,
you go first. You go first.
well, I kind of don't know that it felt in terms of a book, I'm so used to
Yeah.
fiction. So I don't know that it felt complete because I mean, he's still alive, thankfully. So he has
Yeah.
so much life left. But I think in terms of completeness, it was as good as you could get for what we had for somebody who's still pretty young, relatively
Yeah.
writing memoir and has so much left to do. I think it did come to some sort of conclusion, like with his mother's passing and him being able to like like go through that and then having this experience in Barcelona. It was at
Yeah.
least somewhat of a little like bow on the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. I agree completely. It didn't feel it didn't feel really um like completed for me, but I think that's just the nature of a memoir written by someone still in the prime of his life.
Right?
And so yeah, I was satisfied with the ending.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, although it doesn't have it's because we're used to fiction and we're used to having a story arc that goes a certain way and has a very clear structure, and that's not going to be the
Exactly.
case with your life.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm satisfied with it. I think it was as good as yeah, like you said, it's as good as we're gonna get.
Right. It's just hard when I mean, he's still in his 30s, I think.
He's really
Like,
young. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. And it does make me, have you read any of his poetry?
I haven't actually, and I meant to like before book club so I could like think about it and but
Me
I
too.
I didn't get to.
I haven't either, although the book begins with one of his poems.
Yeah, the with his mother dancing. I
Yes,
thought that was
the
actually
French.
really, really good too. I
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped it at the beginning of the book, so I liked being able to go back to it at the end and read it then.
mhm. I think that's actually kind of a good way to do it because you had so much more context behind like his
Yeah,
relationship with his mother and stuff. I
yeah,
have to go back and read it now that I know his story.
yeah. I always do that with prologues. I hate a prologue.
Right? I always skip them. Always.
I always get the prologue, and then at the end, when you finish the book and you're like, "Oh, that was such a great book. I wish I had a little bit more to read." Then you're like, "Oh, I've still got the prologue," and
That's a
then you can
good
go
way to
back,
do
and
it.
it's like a treat, It's like a little,
Yeah. And sometimes they give stuff away in the prologue and it's like I didn't
yeah,
want to know that yet, you know?
no, yeah, I hate a prologue because most of the time I'm like, I don't know what's happening, and I don't like, oh yeah,
Hmm. See, that's the problem with Audible because they trick you. I didn't even know it was a
oh.
poem until you told me. I was just like, the writing style just changed a little bit.
Yeah, actually, when I first opened it and I first started reading the first lines, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be even worse than On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. This is all gonna be poetry that I don't understand. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's just skip to the first chapter. And then I was like, okay, great. It's just it's just a story.
I know it was really funny because even listening to it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really gonna have to try to digest this. This is gonna be rough because it was beautiful. Like it was well written. It's just
Yeah,
like a whole book of that is so hard to like wrap your mind
yeah.
around.
Yeah. And then also without the context, once you have it is good to be able to go back to it now with the context of his mum and being more invested in the characters,
Hmm.
then you can get more out of the poem, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
But that might be some good homework if anyone's feeling like an overachiever. Can read
Just
some of
read.
Said's
Exactly.
poetry. I'm just having a look at the comments. Um, Sam R says, I feel like the memoir is a nuanced exploration of the author's life, exploring various emotions. The memoir is about finding strength, self admits adversity, making it poignant and somewhat hopeful. That is very
Yeah.
true. I really like
Totally agree. That's a really good way to put it, Sam.
that.
For those that haven't read the book, that's exactly sort of what you're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That should be the synopsis on the back of the
Right? We'll
book.
send that to Saeed and be like,
Well,
hey,
Sam
if you
R's
want to
done a better
describe
job
your
than
work.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I did have one more question
Oh,
if we have
great.
time for it. So, were you left wondering about anything? If you could ask Saeed any questions, what would you ask him?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think that most of the questions I have aren't for Saeed. They're for the people around him. They're
Mm,
for his mum and his
yeah,
grandma. They're for that guy, Dale or whatever his name
yeah.
was. I'm
I
like,
can't remember what it
why
was,
are you
but
so angry, Dale?
oh my God, right?
Have you been to therapy? These are the questions that I want to ask Dale. Um, And yeah, actually, those are the main questions that I want to ask him. One kind of aspect of his life that we didn't get was how he went from, well, so we know that he was really, really talented in school and did really well at university. And then he started teaching. And then after his mum passed, then he got some life insurance and then he became a poet in New York. Um, but I feel like all of the details about his like studies and his career, I could have had a bit more details about that.
Mm, yeah, I could see that. I was curious a little bit about like,
Yeah. Because like him becoming a teacher was very sudden. We don't have any like lead up to that. We
mhm.
don't hear about him like because he does like a post grad thing and then he goes into teaching and like yeah. And I know that he says that he still wants to be a writer, but I don't know, was he disappointed? Did he feel like being a teacher was like a stepping stone? Did he feel like it was a failure? Um,
I kind of felt like he didn't want to be a teacher at all.
no.
I don't know. It just felt like that was just like what he had to do because what else am I going to do with this degree?
Yeah.
Because I went through the same thing. I took the same path and
Yeah.
was a teacher after college with my English
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I kind of felt like it was just like, I need money. This is what I am qualified to do right now. So I'll
Yeah.
do it because I need money.
Yeah. Yeah. And would he, and I wonder if he would have become the poet and the author that he is if his mum hadn't died.
Yeah, that's it. Because would, and I feel like he was very dedicated still to poetry, to writing.
Yeah.
I think he probably would have, at least I think, but I think maybe it would have been harder. Maybe it would have taken longer because he didn't have as much time to dedicate to it.
Yeah.
But he was saying how like on his lunch break, he was always like really
Yeah.
dedicated to reading a certain amount or spending an amount of time writing. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So it was definitely like always on his mind.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just wonder if he would have like got there,
Mm,
which is ironic. And he talked about that, like the irony that his mother's not the irony, but the fact that his mother's death has paid for this life for him.
right. I was curious, and I think this is sort of like an unfair thing to ask him because there's probably a reason he didn't bring it up at all. But I'm curious about his father. Um,
Oh
and if
yeah,
his father was ever in the picture, because he's not mentioned, so I assume he was never
yeah,
part of his life, or I just am curious of um like the his mother's relationship with his father and whether he was still alive, if Saeed had ever made an attempt to contact him or anything like that. I
yeah. And the father's absence isn't mentioned at all. Like
yeah.
the lack of father is also not really discussed. And I wonder, like, because the grandmother is clearly very devoutly religious.
Hmm.
But the grandmother doesn't, or like, how did the grandmother feel about her daughter, if her daughter got pregnant by someone that she wasn't with? Like, how did the grandmother react to that? But the grandmother was always seemed very, when Saeed was young, then the grandmother was very like proud of her daughter and Saeed because he talks about like being on the plane and the grandmother being like, oh, like it's my baby and my grandbaby.
Right.
And yeah, so that is a very an interesting thing that I actually forgot was completely not in the book, but of
I'm
course
just like,
it's
that's
not.
just me being really nosy. And I think if he didn't address it, I would never like if I could ask him something,
Yeah,
I'd never ask, but
no.
I'm just being nosy and I'm like, what about
Yeah,
your dad?
yeah. Because it doesn't seem like the dad is giving any financial support, even if he's
No.
not in the picture. Even obviously he's not with the mum, but he doesn't even seem to be sending any
Yeah.
money or
And it's just funny with
yeah,
how much information we get about his life and like how
yeah,
much we know now, like that it's never even mentioned, never
yeah.
once that you would even that you would even have a father. It's just
No, I forgot that he had a father.
he just sprung from his mother.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. The only time I thought about it was when he found that the picture of the man in the book,
Yeah,
and
I
then
was like,
I
oh,
was
is
like,
this
oh,
his
it'll be
dad?
his father. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't, and
Mm-mm.
there was no father
Yep.
at all. He has just sprung from his mum.
Yep. Which is maybe it's sort of intentional. Like his father doesn't even get a mention because he wasn't
Yeah,
ever
it
involved. Like it just
isn't
wasn't a thing.
important.
Hmm.
Yeah, isn't worth mentioning maybe. Or
Yep.
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
so great. Like it's funny if he does, like if he did have some sort of contact with his dad at some point and his dad was just a piece of trash. He's just not even a footnote in his book.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. If his father actually picks him up every other weekend, but it's just nope,
not
you're not in
even
the book.
which I assume he didn't really have a relationship with his dad, but it'd be
I
really
assume
funny.
not. Yeah.
What a great way to get back at a parent who's just like,
That
oh
would be so good.
yeah.
Just completely write you out of your life.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh, shall we do reviews? Start.
Yes, yes. Okay. I'm gonna make a poll. And again, I always say this, but I can only do four options. And I like to do the Goodreads way. So I'm going to do five, four, three, and two. If you
Nice.
rated it a one, I would love to hear why. So you got to tell me in the
Yeah.
chat, guys, why. All right.
I need
So
to
I
think
put the
about
poll
I need
up.
to think about it a little bit.
I know.
Mm, mm.
It's tough because it was very well written, but it's not my genre, so it's hard for me to rate it.
Yeah. I'm just reading some of the comments. Coheria says it must be hard to end a memoir. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gem, you skip prologues, do you also skip introductions? I only if it seems like it's if it's part of the story, then I'll read it. If it's like, a foreword or like an
Yeah, absolutely
introduction,
not. Mm-mm.
if it's not part of the plot, then I'll skip it. And I'll read it at the end if I'm so inclined. But definitely if it's not storyline, I'm getting straight into the story.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, I'm diving in. Um,
So far, we have one vote out of five. We have two votes out of
two
five.
votes. Ooh, have you voted, Beta?
I can't vote.
Oh, yeah,
It
of course you can't.
doesn't let me vote in my own
Oh,
polls.
that's
Stupid.
annoying.
I
Yeah,
know.
that is
I complain
stupid.
about it every time. Every time I
Yeah,
complain about
and
it.
every time I forget.
Uh,
Uh,
All right. So I'm assuming you rated it a five, or you haven't rated it yet.
no, I rated it. Yeah,
Okay.
I rated it a five. I'm between a five and a four.
Hmm.
Um, but I think I'm gonna give it a five.
I can support that. For me, I'd give it a
Yeah,
four, only
yeah,
because I think mostly because it's not my genre.
yeah.
Um,
There.
but it was very well written. So
Yeah,
I give it a four for the writing.
yeah. It was well written and more enjoyable than I was expecting.
Agreed.
But then
Agreed.
actually, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it so much. I had low expectations for it, so it exceeded my
Same.
expectations. But I don't know if that's just because I was pleasantly surprised. If I'd had
Yeah,
higher expectations, would it still seem so good? Maybe not.
exactly. Like, oh, it wasn't awful. This is like great. Yay.
Yeah.
That's all I could hope
I
for.
didn't
And it
hate reading
delivered.
it. I could finish
Mhm.
it.
Yep, yep, yep.
But no,
Um,
I would recommend it to a friend.
yeah, I would to a very specific friend, I think. I wouldn't recommend
Yeah.
it to everyone.
No.
Um, I am, do you know the category for next month? Is it what month are we? Is it
It's the
November? Are
one
we
by
on?
a friend. Oh, wait, no, it's
I think
November.
we have one more before that.
We've got one more.
Let me go back
All
into
right, that's
the
good. I'm just gonna Google it. What is it, Oxfam? Yes. It is.
a nonfiction.
Oh
No,
no, oh no,
no.
November.
It is.
What?
It's a nonfiction.
Oh my gosh, because August was a biography or autobiography.
Uh-huh.
So that's the one that
So
we've just so we've just
we
done August have
did,
read October. We
yeah.
did a biography, a prize-winning biography by a Black
And
author.
yeah,
And now we need to do nonfiction. God damn, they haven't
I
spread that out
know.
enough. That's so unfair.
I know. It really is unfair because it's well, we
I'm
also kind
halfway
of
through a nonfiction book. Do you want to read it? Do you want to read it?
yeah, what is it? Was it? Is it good?
It is good. It is good.
Okay.
It's called Invisible Women, and it's about the data gap. It's about, is it called Invisible Women? No, it's called, let me find out what it's called. I've been reading it like all year, and but it is good. It's about how like it's about how the data that we collect is usually about men, but we say that it's for
Oh,
everyone. And
I think
so,
I think I have that on my Goodreads.
oh
I
yeah,
really
and
think
it's
I
so
do.
like about that women are like 40% more likely to be seriously injured in a car accident because
Yes.
seatbelts are designed for men, not women.
Mm-hmm.
Is it called Invisible Women?
Let me
Yes,
try to look it
Invisible
up.
Women. Invisible Women exposing data bias in a world designed for men. And I think it won like some science prizes. So,
Nice. You're killing me though, because it is 448 pages.
well, I know I have been reading this since June.
She has a head
And
start. You're good. I'll manage. I'll
but I'm
manage.
still only like 50 pages in.
So it's really good. It's just riveting.
Oh, it's such a hard one because I'm just not a nonfiction person at all.
No.
And so I read it and I'm like, oh, this is so interesting what I'm reading. This is so great. And then I'm like, okay, 10 minutes has passed. I'm done reading this for a week.
Yep.
Like
Buddy,
it's
stop.
just
Hey,
it's
stop.
not like a fiction book where you can get absorbed in it for hours.
Yeah.
And also it does make me angry. Like I'll read it and then I'm like, God, it's so annoying about how the world isn't designed for women. And then I get angry about it and I have to leave it for a week.
Let's read it. We'll do that one. But I
Let's
can't
read
promise
as
I'll
much
read
as
the
we
whole
can.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start it and we'll read as much as we can. And then I think, and we'll still be able to have the interesting
Yeah,
conversation about
exactly.
that's the good thing about a
That
nonfiction
is,
book.
I think it'll be
And
fun to
it's,
discuss,
yeah,
even if we don't get
and
through the whole
especially
thing.
this book, it's like each chapter is like a different way in which the world isn't designed for women. So it's not
Love
like
that.
there's like a super big overarching thesis that we will only find out in the conclusion. We'll get it every chapter.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Also, I have chosen the book that I'm going to send to you.
I'm so excited. I know what book I'm sending you as well. Yay!
I'm actually I'm gonna highlight some parts in it. I hope you don't mind.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
yeah.
What if we've read each other's book already? Oh, I'll have a look at your Goodreads. Are you pretty up to date
Yeah.
with your Goodreads?
I'm
Okay.
totally up to date. Are you?
I'm yeah, apart from books
Okay.
that I read when I was like 12.
Yeah, you wouldn't have read this because
So
it
I
wasn't out. So we're good. And
okay,
also
yeah,
it's
we're
not a
good.
12-year-old book. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yay. All right, I'll
Yeah.
have a look at your Goodreads as well to double check.
Excellent.
Okay, great.
All right.
And then we'll actually like send it to each other like physically.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute.
I
I'm so excited.
so I wasn't going to tell you, but I'll tell you, and you do not have to do this. I'm
Okay.
excited to do it. I
Okay.
actually have a couple little small gifts that you're going to
Oh,
be able to open at certain parts in the book that relate to the parts of the book. So I
oh
think
my
that would be so
gosh.
fun.
That is so well
Yeah,
thought out. That's amazing.
I think it'll be very fun. It's like
Okay, that'll
small
be very
stuff, but
fun.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'll see what I'll give you a little Christmassy thing because
You
it'll be like
don't
Christmas
feel like you
time.
have to. It will be. Yeah, that's our December book. It will be Christmas
Yeah.
time. So I'm going to try to do that over the next couple weeks so I can actually get it to you by early
Yeah.
December so you have time to actually
Yeah.
read
How long
it.
did it take last time? I think it took like 2 weeks or something for
Gosh, I don't
our
know.
gifts to
Like,
get there.
yeah, a week or two, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think if I
Absolutely.
ship it by mid-November, that should be good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited. We're
Yeah,
talking about, sorry, we're just talking about our own things. We're talking about for December,
December.
then we've got
And we'll let you
book
know
swap.
what the books are
Yeah.
when we get them so that you guys can read them too if you'd like to, because those will be the
Yeah.
ones we'll be discussing. But
Yeah. And you can
it's
read
sort of
one or both
yeah.
or neither and
Mhm.
just hang out with us.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay.
So for this month, sorry, we will be reading Invisible Women.
Yeah. Unless if you're happy with that, unless you've got
I
any
am
other.
no, actually, I've actually seen like I wanted to read it as much as I can want to read a nonfiction book. So
Yeah.
that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have a tentative date that you would be available? Or we
Yeah,
can
I
talk
think,
about it later if you
well,
want.
I think probably the first Friday of December will
Yeah,
be
December
fine.
1st,
Maybe let's say December the 8th,
December
just to give
8th.
us like a little bit more time. That'll be one,
Sure.
2, 3, 5 weeks, shall we say?
Yep, that is fine with me. December 8th. I have nothing, so
Yeah, I don't have anything on that week. I might, and I might have something on the weekend before, but that weekend I won't have
yeah.
anything.
Cool,
That'll
cool.
be great. Oh, it's getting close to Christmas.
I know. How exciting. I'll probably have my
Did you do
tree up
anything
by
for
then.
Halloween?
We gave out candy. So we sat
Nice.
outside and we played music for the kids. We played the Nightmare Before Christmas
Oh,
soundtrack and gave out candy. It was
oh my gosh,
cute.
that's so cute and wholesome.
It's
That's
very American.
lovely.
Very American.
That's great.
Did you do anything?
I didn't. No. I had a no, I didn't do anything. And I thought that I might get some trick-or-treaters because I'm like staying in a house now. And whereas
Mm-hmm.
before I was living in flats, then like no one, I never had any trick-or-treaters because kids didn't really live in the building. But I thought I might get
Yeah.
some trick-or-treaters this year, but I didn't.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think feel like it's not as big over there. Like,
No, and there's like so they do a big um like what's it called? It's called like Sam Hain or something. They do a big like celebration where they do bonfires and like spooky things and it's like it's more of a I don't know, it's kind of like a folklore pagan thing
is it
is the
I don't
idea
know
that
if
I
it's
get.
pronounced right, but is it Samhain or something? I feel like
Yeah,
that might be
I thought it was Sam Hain or something like that. And I wanted to go, yeah, Samhain evening. Well, I don't know how it's pronounced, but um, evening of the 31st of October. And they had bonfires and stuff, but I actually didn't. I wanted to go, but I didn't go. So, so that wasn't a very good story of mine. But I saw pictures from it and it looked cool. So maybe I'll go next year.
That is so fun. You should go. So I looked it up because people were laughing at the pronunciation Sam Hain. It's I think it's Samhain. And I only know that
Samhain.
because I saw a TikTok with people laughing about it. And it's
Oh,
like
that
not
makes
pronounced how
sense.
it's spelled
Well,
at all.
Samhain. Oh yeah, the first thing that oh yeah, it sounds like wait. Sound. Sound.
Down.
Sound.
For me, it's saying Samhain. I don't know.
This is British pronunciation.
Oh, see, that's different too.
Yeah. So then oh yeah, and then this one says the correct way to pronounce it is Samhain. Yeah. I had only seen it written down. Clearly it shows how uncultured I am.
No, I wouldn't have known. I just saw a TikTok like a month ago with people laughing about it. And I was like, that it looks like it's how it should be pronounced.
That
I don't
yeah.
see the problem.
It's Gaelic. Obviously it's not
Yeah,
gonna be pronounced how it's
so
spelled.
weird. Like,
Yeah, but I didn't go to that. I watched Over the Garden Fence, Over the Garden Wall. Have you seen it?
mm, mm-mm.
Oh, it's a very cute animated series,
Aw,
which is like slightly spooky, but mainly wholesome.
that's cute.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Good little Halloweeny vibes.
Yeah,
Cute Halloween.
without anything scary.
Yeah. Well, Harry ordered the book. Yay. Good job. Good
Yay!
job.
The Invisible Women one.
I think so.
I'm so impressed.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh, oh, sorry,
No, it's fine.
that was us
It was
talking.
it was me.
That's so
That's
unpleasant. Yeah,
me.
it was the live stream.
Yeah, I know. I have it muted so I don't hear it like echoing back at me.
Yeah, I I didn't like it.
I hate that.
Yeah, oh, first nonfiction in a long time, Query says. It will
Yeah.
be for all of us. Oh,
Yes.
how did you get the thumbs up? Did you just do that on
Whoa.
purpose?
I didn't. I don't even know how I did it. Did I do it in, I'm wondering if I did it in Zoom or if I did it in,
Well, I saw it and I saw it, so it must be on Zoom, surely,
yeah,
because
I
I'm
think
not
it's,
on the YouTube.
yeah, it's got to be in
Oh,
Zoom.
maybe it's is it a reaction? But then it's like it says like, it's not like a normal thumbs up.
Yeah. We can recognize hand gestures. I have no idea how I did it, but that's
Oh, maybe
cute.
did you do this and then it did it?
Come on, do it. Do it again. Come on. I think it's supposed to recognize hand gestures. Okay, so I enabled it and let's see if it'll do it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it doing
Well,
it?
it did it
Did it do
differently.
it? It
Yeah,
has,
it's doing
oh
it.
yeah, it's doing it. It's doing it. Does it do it? Oh wait, I need to do mine. This is so funny.
Oh, it's gonna do a hand up now.
It's just, oh
Lower it.
nice.
Now I have to lower my hand. Lower it.
It's been like 3 years of Zoom and we're finally figuring out how it works.
Right. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's very cute.
Mhm.
That's a good trick to know.
I like it. I like it.
Okay,
Sam
so
ordered the
tentative
book as
release
well. Look at these
date.
dedicated
Oh, well
folks.
done. Well done, everyone. It's up on my shelf, so I've got a head start.
Oh, perfect. I'll probably
Yes.
get it on Kindle, so I'll have
Yeah.
it anytime now.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, and we'll read as much as we can. No
Yes.
pressure to finish the whole thing.
Hmm.
We'll
Same to
begin
you guys. If
it.
you want to read parts of
Yeah.
it, go ahead. Anything that's interesting to you, and if you want to share with the
Yeah.
group, that would be
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. And there won't be any spoilers and we can like
Right?
mix and match chapters. So if
Hmm.
people have read other chapters, then they can teach us about the chapters that we haven't read. It will work
Exactly.
perfectly.
It's a collaborative effort. I love it.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
I'm really trying to justify making you all read this long book
Yeah.
that I haven't finished.
Oh, no, I love it. It's gonna really
Yeah,
encourage you.
it's
Um,
good.
Germ, I do not use OBS for this. I have for previous streams, but this is weird because Eliza and I have to do it together and we're not in the same place. We have to do it through Zoom and then cast the Zoom to YouTube. And we can only do that because my husband pays for like Zoom Pro or something.
Zoom
Yes.
Premium. Oh, is the
Premium or
thumbs
whatever.
up thing only with Pro?
I don't think so. But maybe.
That's what you're really paying for. The
Right.
YouTube streaming is like whatever, but the
That's
thumbs up
secondary.
feature,
Yeah.
that's where your money goes.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining. This
guys.
was a wonderful
Any
time.
final questions or comments?
Yeah. Anything from anybody? Eliza just posted a new video today and it is very good. Go and watch it. I really enjoyed it. Hmm.
Thank you. Beta posted a video a few days ago, which was also really
You
good.
shared it. Thank you. You're so
I
sweet.
did, and I realized that I didn't even like comment on the video.
It was so nice of
I was like,
you.
no, it's an eyes closed, follow my instructions video. It's very good.
Yes. And I liked
Listen
yours
to it.
today because I like the impersonal attention sometimes where it's like you're just kind of talking to yourself and it's like I'm just
Yeah,
eavesdropping on you doing your
yeah,
stuff.
I like that too.
It's
Where
relaxing.
it's like, yeah, yeah, as which is interesting, isn't it? Because my favorite genres are like follow my instructions, and then also
Hmm.
like where I'm not even a person. Well, like I'm
Right?
just an object being like poked and written about.
Hmm. Silently observing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. The two
Mm.
extremes.
Yeah. Polar opposites.
Yeah.
Thank you again, guys. And thank you
Thank
for
you,
those of you that were
everyone.
here and those of you that participated. It's always so nice
Yeah,
to
thanks
hear
for
your comments.
coming.
But thank you, Eliza. I'll see you
Thank you,
soon.
Beta. See you soon, and I'll get a book sent over to you
I
in
know.
a few weeks.
I'll message you. I'll WhatsApp you for your current
Oh yeah,
address. Mine
will
has
do.
not changed, but I can give it to you again if you don't have it.
Yeah, I'll find it. But yeah, I have moved, so I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone. Goodbye, Eliza.